There are a lot of different types of blocks in these types of platformers. It will be a waste of time to show you how to make all possible types of blocks, considering they will use the same techniques you've seen before. However, I do want to make a slightly more complex type of block that will show you how to apply these techniques to more complex assets. In this lesson, we're going to be making this fairly complex brick block. Let's begin with the outline of the block. We want the exact same block roundness than the rest of the block in the game. It will look really weird if you see different types of blocks with different amounts of corner smoothness. So for this we can do a couple of things, but the easiest is to enter the question block group, remember with double click, and when you are inside select only the rectangle and hit Ctrl C to copy. Now, very important, you are still inside of the group, so double click in any part of the canvas to leave the group. Make sure that this drop down here says that you are in a layer, otherwise you didn't actually left the group. Now hit Ctrl B to paste the rounded rectangle shape. If you want, you can place it in a grid, though we don't need it on a grid square at all for now. You can just disable the snapping and work to the side if you want. And now for the last step, give it a color. In this case, I'm gonna be using a brick dark orange. You can copy my colors if you want. The next few steps may seem a bit complex, but if you watch and study the previous lesson, you should be able to follow me without any problem. We want to imply that this block is made of a few smaller bricks. For that, we're going to follow a set of steps. First, with the pen tool, draw a few lines to delineate bricks. A couple of tips here. Don't worry about leaving the silhouette of the block. We're going to fix that later. Also, I like to make the bricks uneven and skewed. Like I said before, uneven areas are way more interesting than evenly divided areas with straight lines. So this way the whole block looks more appealing and cartoony. Of course, these divisions are meant to be the mortar joints. In masonry, that's the name for the space between the bricks that has mortar. So select all joints and make them bigger with the width drop down. A 3 pixel width worked for me. Finally, give it a darker shade of the local color. By now I think I don't need to remind you the steps. To make it feel more cartoony and less artificial, let's make the joints a bit uneven. And for this we're gonna need to edit the stroke as if it were a path. So we are gonna need to transform all these strokes to path. Luckily that's something super easy to do. Select them all and go to path, stroke to path. Now all the strokes are path. If you want to simplify your work, you can join all these paths into a single shape so they are easier to manipulate. In this case, I just use the shortcut Ctrl+ to make a union. Now double click to add nodes and then move the nodes a bit up and down to make the whole joints more uneven. Be subtle, this is gonna be more noticeable once we add the shadows and highlights. A nice detail you can do is to widen the places where two joints connect. Now there is the problem with the joint shapes. In some parts they leave the silhouette of the block. I believe that you can see how to solve this. That's right, just use an intersection. Great, we are done with the separation between bricks. But now I want to give it an extra something. I want to cut out a bit the silhouette in the area where the joints intersect with the border. And this will help further give the impression that this is a block made by bricks separated by mortar. Not to mention that will result in a more interesting silhouette. The easiest way to do this is to use a difference to cut out those parts. So grab the pen tool and draw this trapezius-like shape. Now, so you don't have to go one by one making 6 different operations, there is a nice little trick you can do. You can select all these shapes and join them into a single shape by using a union. And yes, unions work with shapes that are not intersecting. Now you have a single shape and you only have to do a single difference operation. And now the mortar joints need to be adjusted to this new block silhouette. So I'm sure you know what to do. Perform an intersection with the block. Okay, now for the highlight and shadows. We're gonna follow the exact same steps we did before with the question block, with the only difference that we're giving each individual brick a highlight and shadow. So think of each brick as its own separate mini block. Grab the pen tool and draw the highlights. Remember everything that I showed you before. Keep in mind the roundness, make the highlight shape thick enough so it's visible from far away, and try to give it a subtle tilt so it looks a bit more interesting. When the highlight or shadow is close to an edge, you know what to do. You have to perform an intersection to remove the excess. But when it's here on the middle of the block, you have to hide one of the edges below the joint shape. There is no other way around. And for the color of the highlights and shadows, I think that you can do that on your own by now. One last important thing, the shape of the shadow or highlight will imply the form of the brick. So making these shapes that kinda wraps around each brick, it's a nice way to make the bricks more interesting. These choppy lines of the highlights and shadows imply that the particular brick is damaged or chipped away, which is always a nice way to add detail to anything architectural. And we can leave it like this and the job will be done. But I want to add some small extra details to make it look slightly more finished. First, we're gonna add some damage to the bricks. Grab the ellipse tool and draw a few ellipses of small irregular shapes here and there. Make sure to variate the size quite a lot. Add just a few to occupy large spaces with nothing on it. Also make sure the ellipses have the same color as the shadow. This is supposed to be a curved surface. Also, you don't have to use ellipses, but elliptical damage tend to look better than other shape damage. A nice trick is that you can draw more than one ellipse on top of each other to make the shape more irregular quickly without the need to go in there and modify the shape of the ellipse. Now you can add a nice bit of detail with these ellipses and then use the difference technique to create a thin but intense highlight shape. It's important to not overdo with these types of detail. Add these carved areas only to fill the empty areas. Otherwise it will look too filled and distracting. And now it looks a lot better with all that detail. But one last thing I want to do, grab the pen tool and create this polygonal bumps on the joint shapes. What you want to do is to imply that there is damage in the bricks. When you are done drawing them, join them to the joints with a union. Again, you should keep in mind the quantity of detail, and only add a few where it feels too empty. Here is another nice thing I like to do. I like to draw these cracks on the borders. But there is a really nice looking detail you can add specifically to the horizontal cracks, since they have a border that's opposite to a light source, and that is to give it a really thin highlight. This will make the crack pop up more. And now for the final step, the 3 pixel outline. Here you can simply pick the block shape, duplicate it, give it a 6 pixel stroke we talked about in the last lesson, and move it to the background. As far as the color, make it slightly darker than the darkest shape, and it's done. Don't forget to group everything and make it fit a grid unit like we did in the last lesson. This block is actually the single most complex shape you'll be doing in this course, so congratulations on finishing it. I want to remind you that if you want to use this block as a floor or walkable tile, it's gonna be problematic because of the roundness of the borders. A nice exercise will be to make one of these blocks to function as a floor, like the bricks in the level 1-2 in the original Mario. So you're gonna have to redraw one of these without the rounded edges, and maybe with a bit less detail so it won't call attention to itself since it's a floor tile.